Hello guys and welcome back to Replay Analysis with Mon Capitan, Protoss player. This is going to be a Silver 2 analysis. So we're going to be probably talking a lot about the macro, a lot about the overall efficiency of things, stuff like that. I'm also going to watch this from your perspective because I don't really give a shit about what the Terran is doing. If you do scout anything at all, I would say all you need to figure out is if he expanded, and that is literally the only thing you have to scout all game, up until you want to kill expansions. So far, your build is fine. Just kidding. Okay, I'm gonna back it up. You're supply blocked. Okay, that's why you're supply blocked. Do not ever chrono boost until after your first pylon is done. And also, your very first probe that spawns, it should be building the pylon. If you don't chrono boost, you'll be able to afford it properly. If you do chrono boost, you're going to block like you did. So yeah, do not chrono until after your first pylon. Like, right when the pylon finishes at 15, that's when you chrono boost, right when you throw it on the gateway. Because this blocking of your nexus is bad. It's actually more inefficient to do it this way. Like, it seems less inefficient because you're like, I get probes out right away faster. But then you block for so long that you actually have less probes at this stage now than you should. Because if you think about it like this, Let me blow your mind really fast. A probe's build time is 12 seconds, right? And so far up to this point, you've built 3 probes with chrono boost. Now, with that being said, that means you could actually get 3 probes out in 36 seconds, and you could be starting your 4th probe at second 37 if you did the chrono after the pylon. And you would be chronoing now, so you would now get probes 16, 17, 18 really fucking fast, right? But already, you've not only burned your chrono boost as well, that's a big thing, because now it's gone. You don't have another one right now. But you also are already 5 seconds behind, or you're 4 seconds behind. Because you would be starting, right now you're starting your probe at 41. This is probe 16. You would be starting probe 16 at 37 seconds if you built the probe at second number 1 in the game. And you just didn't chrono it. And you just kept it going the whole time because you built a pylon with your first built probe. Because you wouldn't block then. So the build is already behind in 2 ways. You're behind by a few seconds by just building the probes because it's been blocked for so long. And you're also behind because now you don't even have a chrono to use at this stage. Okay, and also, right after you build the gateway, the next, keep the probes pumping in your nexus the whole time, but right after, the second after you have 75 minerals and there is a probe in production, build a gas. Do not forget to build a gas. It's a big deal. You don't want to rip your guys off the mineral line, but you're about to be fully saturated on the mineral line, and now you would kind of like to have a gas. And if you don't build a gas for a while, everything's going to get kind of fucked. There you go. It's a bit late on the gas, but yeah. Keep that in mind, what I just said, though. The priority is to keep your probes pumping, but build a gas as soon as you can after you do that. Alright, so you scout, you see you see a barracks, you see a factory, you see a gas. You didn't scout a second gas, but based on the fact that he doesn't have... Like, this guy's build looks totally fucked up. I would not be surprised if he does have a second gas. Either way, I would say the best way to play this out for yourself now would be maybe just throw down a battery. That's what I was telling. I always said for Zerg, you throw down like a spine crawler. For Terran, you could throw down like a faster depot wall or some shit, or just make sure you leave your tank on the high ground. And for Protoss, just make like a shield battery. Okay, now your build's getting a little messed up. So your build is really awkward. I'm gonna assume you're gonna take an expansion really late. Let's just watch until wait until you expand. Let's wait until you expand. It should already be thrown down already, though. Nah, it should have been thrown down at the same time you started your core. Yeah, this is something. Okay, this is something that like a lot of lower level players do all the fucking time. They always build multiple productions before expanding because they're paranoid. Well, I guarantee this Terran player won't even attack you for like the next 6 minutes. Your natural is so late. You also walled yourself in. That sucks. You still haven't expanded. So, okay. This makes absolutely no sense unless you're going for an all-in. And you're definitely not going for an all-in because you're not really prioritizing your money into production. So I feel like all that's happening right now is you're over-scouting and you're becoming paranoid. There should honestly be one reaction, just one reaction, when your opponent does not have an expansion. I don't even give a shit if your probe stops scouting right here, or if he scouts to the edge of the ramp just to see if there's a command center on the high ground right here. I think what you're doing right now is you're looking at this and you're like, oh fuck, okay, this could be a tank timing, it could be marauders with medevacs or something, it could be maybe a fast battlecruiser, it could be banshees. This could be X, Y, Z. This could be so many things. You're probably like overanalyzing this in your head where you're like, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that, it could be something else. I don't know. This is very all in. There's a lot of things you could be doing with this. But it's not proxied. And he also showed you he started the factory around the time you started the core. So, like, he's not cutting workers early either to be like, I'm just going 12 depot, 12 racks, fucking really fast factory. Some bullshit like that. Like, he's still making workers. So what my guess is you both are going to expand, but you're both delaying your expansion like crazy. And if I were to look at his vision, I would not be surprised if I potentially see a command center on his side of the map that is starting. That's not a guarantee, but I would not be surprised if he does, because this guy has done nothing so far that looks all in. He's definitely taken a gas early, and he's prioritized the gas, but this is not like crazy all in where like you couldn't hold it. He's teched all the way to 111. This is still not... Like, the fact that it's in his base is very non-threatening. It's not intimidating. If you scouted the barracks right here, and then you saw a factory right next to it, right there, and your base is right here, I'd be like, okay, yeah. Maybe go deal with that. Maybe send a stalker out there, or maybe make some batteries, or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, it's a bit all in now. It's a little more all in than it should be. But if it's here, it's not that threatening. But you guys are both... Like he is at least prioritizing his tech. You're not really doing that. But I mean, he's going for like, it looks like he's going to go for a tank marine timing. It doesn't matter though. If you just fucking macro, you will crush this. This is one of those things where if I were to give you an example build, okay? At 3, we'll go to 5 minutes. We'll see what you're doing at 5 minutes. But your build is already way too late on the expansion. There's no way your expansion would die. Like, your expansion should be done right now. It should be like already finishing and you should be saturating it. And your money would be going up at a faster rate than it is already. And now you're expanding. Yeah, see, this makes no sense. Way too late.
I am here in the shadows.
Okay. And now you're not teching either. Okay. So he dropped you with 1 medevac, with no stimpack marines and a tank. It was 4 marines and a tank. No siege, no stimpack. And you lost, what, like 4 probes? You lost 2 probes. Imagine if you had been making probes at a much faster pace, and right now, instead of having, at 5 minutes, instead of having 28 probes, when you could have had 30 because 2 died, imagine if you had 46 probes and you would have had 48 because 2 died. That's very realistic. At 5 minutes. Like, your natural is just so fucking late. And you're not making probes again a lot of times either. Like, you're doing the classic mistake of everybody in StarCraft, and you're thinking way too hard. You're using your brain too much here. And your brain's not ready for it yet. Honestly. You should be literally thinking about this only. This green box here. This part of the screen. This is the only thing you should think about. And you shouldn't think about it too critically and be like, okay, what did ViBE say I needed to be at? What did he say exactly? all you should be doing is you should be kind of like referencing. Fuck my nose. Ugh. You should be referencing how good you did last time and do it better next time. Give yourself like a time trial. Like literally picture StarCraft 2 as like you're playing fucking Mario Kart or like Gran Turismo or some shit, like a racing game. And your build is a race to 200 supply. It's how fast can you get there? That's what you should think. That's it. That's literally it. All you should think about is how fast can I time trial my ass to 200 supply. And right now, you're really far behind. So it, like, for instance, have you guys ever done a time trial? Anyone ever done a time trial where there's like a ghost version of the time trial and you can compare yourself to it and you're like you're watching the fuck, like it's Mario Kart and this time trial ghost you're racing against is just fucking crushing you on every turn and you're like, shit, dude, I can't keep up with it. Holy fuck, it's fast. But you could do that if you were playing really efficient. If you could do a time trial version of StarCraft 2 right now, the ghost version of you would have a fully saturated mineral line. It would have a third base that's like already started, and you would have like 60 supply already, or like 70 supply already. At this stage, probably like more like 60. And you would have a robo done already. You'd have a robo bay done already. You'd have a forge possibly started. You'd have a council started here pretty soon. You'd have all these other buildings started. And you would have like 60 or between 60 and 70 supply out of like 90 or something. You would just have a lot more shit right now if you were comparing yourself to a time trial. But a lot of people don't think about StarCraft like that. A lot of people think about StarCraft where they're like, who gives a shit about what I'm doing? What is he doing? Holy fuck, what's this? And then you're like stressing out on it and you're like, okay, I have no idea what this is, but it looks aggressive. That's a gas and that's quick. And he's not even walling his ramp. He doesn't give a shit. He's fucking making tech. Oh god, he didn't expand. I'm gonna die. A lot of people look at StarCraft like that, and it's very wrong. Don't actually look, don't even give a fuck about what your opponent does until seriously you're way more comfortable with your build. And this is not an example of someone who's comfortable with their build for real. Like the fact that you have 1,000 minerals and you're not building probes. So keep this in mind, okay? Your build order should be this. Your build order up until 2 bases, at the very least, should be this, alright? Your build order should be this. Pylon, Gateway, Gas, Nexus, Core, Gas, Pylon. That's it. That's your build. That's your whole build. From there, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You just, as long as you make probes. Just keep making probes until you're at 80 to 84, 85, whatever. And then you can add in like, okay, I'm adding in a robo, I'm adding in a forge, I'm adding in more gates, whatever. But getting your nexus down fast is important. And then ideally, what you want to do is every single time your current mineral line is like 12 plus, or like between 12 to 16, take another base. 12 to 16, take a third. 12 to 16, take a fourth. 12 to 16, take a fifth. And then keep tabs on the top right for your probe count and stop making probes at like 80 to 85.
Oh, yeah.
And then what will happen then by the time you take your 5th base is your main base will start mining out. So you can transfer probes around. And then you can take your 6th base and so on 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 and so on. Thank you for the sub, Myth. Much love, dude. Appreciate the 4-month resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But like, dude, your robo, I'm gonna say this right now. Your Nexus was thrown down like 3 minutes late, and your robo is thrown down also like 3 minutes late. Honestly, this game, like this robo is just now like a little more than halfway done. Your robo should be getting thrown down with like your your gateway should go like this. Your first gateway should probably do something like make a stalker, and then make a sentry, and then you make a fucking robo. Which should be that means your robo should be getting thrown down probably around like 2:45 to 3 minutes, roughly, and your and then you'll have access to immortals, to whatever go higher tech with the Colossus, whatever the hell you want to do. Immortals is probably the easiest option just because they're more versatile than Colossus are, and they don't require any micro. Colossus sometimes can require a little bit of micro. The worst, by the way, don't ever make sentries like this again. I would recommend. This is a micro based unit. You only need one, and the only reason why you need one is because you're not even going to use Guardian Shield, and you're not going to use Force Fields. You're going to use Hallucination Phoenix if you really want to like check his base, and that's fine. I don't mind if you do one Hallucinating Phoenix check on his base. And all you should be looking for is like, did he expand yet? Did he? No? Okay, cool. I'll just keep doing my time trial. Did he expand yet? Now? Oh, he did. Cool. Okay, well, cool. I'm still gonna keep doing my time trial. It's literally a time trial. Bronze to plat is all time trial, and the fact that you like even if you were like a fucking Silver League Einstein, who could read this and be like, I know exactly what he's doing. It is going to be a double Banshee tank push with Marines. And it's like, holy fuck, you called it. That's correct. Your build sucks ass, though, so even if you were right, you would still die to it, very likely. Because you have no fucking... Like, your macro is so far behind already. So even if you're wrong, it doesn't matter, because if you just time trial it, you'll win that way, because you'll just have more shit. Because, dude, this right here, this is the whole point of B2GM. You have 42 workers at 7 minutes, and the Terran has 25. You're doing a better job than he is, but you both have fucking awful economies. At 7 minutes. This is so late. This is so late for this economy. At 7 minutes, you should be like at 70 workers already. And so should he. He should be like in the 60 plus range. Easy. Give him a break. Give him a break. Get him a body bag. No breaks. Eaten by argue. No breaks. Okay? This is tough love. I make a bunch of killers in here. No pussies. See, Mon Capitan, he knows I love him, okay? Now, here's the fucking Banshees, right? You're like, oh my god, Banshees. See, now all you need to do here is you have an Observer, and you have Stalkers. You are totally fine. You've already made an army that's versatile. All you have to do, select all army, A move over here. That's it. Just A move your whole army over here with select army. Then you're fucking done. And then if I look at production, I would hope to see... While you're doing that, not even looking at this, again, this is not a priority to look at. You can look at this in half a second, and if I were to say, oh, he's attacking you over here. He's got 3 Liberators. And I would say, oh, and then, I'd say, how would you handle that? Your answer should be, select all army, A move. And I was like, all right, he's got 3 medevacs here with tanks in it. He's dropping the tanks, and he's sieging. How are you going to deal with that? Select all army, A move. Okay. He's got Banshees, and they're going to cloak. How are you going to deal with that? Select all army, A move. He just teleported a fucking battlecruiser over here. How are you going to deal with that? Select all army, A move. He's got medevacs with Marines inside. How are you going to deal with that? Select all army, A move. Like, I don't want to hear a single fucking answer where you're like, all right, well, I'm going to get in the dead zone of the tanks. I'm going to make sure my Observer's constantly pushing into the Banshees. I'm going to make sure I... maximize my stutter step underneath the battlecruiser so he can't run away. None of that shit fucking matters. None of that shit matters. You're Silver League. Literally none of that matters. The only thing that matters is I want to see you actually building shit the whole time while you're getting annoyed. And let's watch your production right now while he's attacking you. Does it continue? So you just made 2 stalkers and now you're reacting to it. You're pulling probes. You stop making probes. You have not made anything out of your robo. Your gateways are now done. You are not making anything out of gateways. You still have not made a single probe since you pulled your army. You pulled your army probably like 40 seconds ago. You are now starting cannons and a pylon. You've still not made a probe yet. Making another cannon. You now just made stalkers for the first time in like 30 seconds. This is like over a minute now of no probe production. You still have not made a single thing out of the robo other than your observer. Still no probes. This is like 2 minutes of no probes now. There we go. See, like, your priorities are fucked. Your priorities are super fucked. You definitely need to just have more of an emphasis on production and time trial than on what's actually happening in the game. Because you know what it's like? You know what it's like? This is... Okay. Hold on, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example really fast. Whoops. Okay, so here's your example. When you have a Silver Terran, this represents a Silver League Terran who right now is making Banshees.
That one there. There. That one there.
You see, if you just macro, while this motherfucker thinks he's good, and he makes 1 Banshee, you could have made 15 Stalkers. And then what does he do? He's so proud of his creation that he wants to fly it around your fucking base. And he's just smiling. He thinks he's doing great. He's like, I'm fucking this Protoss up, Dad. It's like, guess what, son? You killed fucking 5 probes. He's got 100. I'll give you a ribbon for participating. Okay. Fucking time trial, dude. Make shit. Yo, a lot of like it. Thank you for the 100 bits. Da, 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 da. All right.
Research has concluded.
Well, you are at 12 minutes right now, and you're still pretty much 80 supply off of max, which is very far away. Your probe count right now is still only at 61 now, and you've only lost 7 workers. There's just a lack of production. I'm gonna watch your camera for a second. I want to watch what you do. What are you looking at? You moved your army around. You're looking around your base. You're making a thingy. You're making a council or a temple archives. You just clicked your nexuses, but you didn't start probes. You clicked on a probe right now again to make another base. Okay, you're expanding. You shift clicked a couple commands there. You made a round of units.
We have used up a mineral field.
Okay, so my suggestion to you would be, I don't know if you do this, look at the top right with the mouse like this, just to give yourself a tab to be like, how many workers am I at? And if this number is not at fucking 80, you should keep periodically check it, like maybe like once every minute or so, like once you get to like 6 minutes plus. And if you're not at 80 yet, just keep fucking grinding out workers. Keep cranking workers out. 5 DDD, 5 DDD, 5 DDD, 5 DDD for probe. And like right there, you stared at that the entire time. That was one medevac. That was 10 fucking supply. 10 supply versus your entire army. And you stared at it while your stalkers in the front blocked everything in the back from getting closer to it because they were shooting it at max range at the medevac. And then you stared at it for like a good 10 seconds. Which could have been a round of making something. Stop staring at fucking fights. Like, if you're staring at fights, you're not macroing. Time trial.
I return to mineral field depleted.
And you really need to make probes at a faster pace. And then you need to also increase your production at a faster pace once you have said money. Like right now, how much gateways do you have? You have 8 gateways and 1 robo. 2 robos now and 8 gateways. This is not enough for the fact that you have a 5,000 plus resource bank. That's way too little on the production. Like right now, you should seriously have like 16 gateways, and 2 robos is fine. But I would say like 16 gates or something already, and go up still. Go to like 20 to 24 gates, and then stop at like if you go to 24 gates, stop there. And the reason why I say that, that's not going to be what you're going to do in Masters League. It's not going to be that. You're not going to still make 24 fucking gateways in Masters League and be like, Dad, look, I'm doing it. I made a Banshee. You're going to be like, all right, no, I understand more about how to do an efficient build here. But when I was a lower level player, it was nice to overmake production so that I could remax really fast. Because all I'm doing, I'm not microing. I'm not spending any time doing that. I'm just macroing. And I'm just going just waves of units repeatedly. Over and over and over. That's all it is, baby. That's all it is. Alright, and also, here's a tip. You're doing it now, though. I like that you're doing it now. I was going to say, when you're like at 150 supply, do what you're doing now. If you can remember, when you're like getting closer to maxing out, try to do what you just did just now, then. So that when you do max out, you don't just sit here for another minute. Because watch this. Let's watch the exact moment you maxed out. And let's look at how much, it's even before this. Let's look at how much time goes by after you've maxed that you just sit here. You're maxed out, right?
Upgrade complete.
Now, 1558. We'll just say, yeah, we'll say 1558. 1558. Okay. And you could have maxed out faster, obviously, with the time trial. This is like a 16-minute max, and you could have maxed this game because nothing really happened to you that much. It was very minor pressure. You could have maxed, realistically, like at 12 or 13 minutes for Silver League. Like, if all you had to do differently was just expand faster to your natural, and it would have changed everything. Seriously. Because you didn't make probes for so long at the start of this game. For like the first 7 minutes. Or 6 minutes. Okay. Now, how long do you sit here before you actually move out? Let's find that out. Because just know, it takes about 1 minute to cross the map, or like 45 seconds to a minute to cross the map with like an Archon and an Immortal. So how long does it take you? So you found out where his newest base is, top middle, and you move out of your base right now a full minute late. You're moving out a minute late. A minute after you maxed out is when you move out. That is so much time for him to catch up to you. If you are actually out macroing him, this is that moment where like your macro advantages, if you actually have them, kind of just dwindle away because you're wasting so much fucking time. Watch his screen. I mean, I imagine you're gonna do the cardinal sin, which is you're gonna micro your army. I bet, or you're not gonna micro it. You're gonna stare at it. Most people do that, and I always tell you not to. And I really do mean don't fucking do it. I'm not like watch me not do it. I'm like you shouldn't do it either. You should do what I'm doing, which is macro. Let's see if you do it.
Those cowards have attacked our probes.
Okay. You would have been better off, honestly. You would have been better off doing this. Literally, I'm not even kidding. As soon as this happened, and he teleports, and you're like, ah, fuck. You would have been better off relocating. Don't turn around. Don't turn your army around. You know how I know every caster is like, don't ever base trade a Terran. Fuck those casters. Okay, they don't know what they're talking about. This is Silver League. Base trade. You fucking keep attacking because you're committed already, and everything that dies, you replace somewhere else. So if probes die, keep building probes and go expand somewhere else. Rebuild your base as it dies, because if he doesn't and you do, you win anyways. Just keep replacing shit that dies, and every time you have open supply, just make like stalkers or something, just so you can like shoot the fucking BCs down. Like, so stop making immortals now that you know he's going mass air. Just make something that can hit air, either stalkers or archons. Either one of those would be fine. And that's all you do. That's literally all you do. You don't turn around. You don't recall half your army. You just let your army move through his base. He dies. And then that means his army here is all in. And if you just relocate your base and make stalkers and archons somewhere else, like build a core here, build a Templar archives here, build over here, build over here. It does not matter where you build. Build way the fuck over here. Just relocate. Because going around and going home, all that does for him is it buys him more time to deal with you. And you're focusing again on the micro aspect then, not the macro aspect. You need to focus on the macro aspect. Because like right now, you've just freed up enough. You have so much bank, and you have now freed up enough supply for 21 stalkers. Or sorry, 16 stalkers. 16. And 16 stalkers guaranteed would die to this if you attacked him with 16 stalkers. But it's only 10 BCs. Guaranteed, if one BC kind of like went off by itself, your 16 stalkers would kill one BC. But if all 10 BCs fight you at the same time as your 16 stalkers are fighting them, you would weaken a couple of them, and then your army would die. Your 16 stalkers would die. But you know what you could do? Insta-remax it again. By the time they die, you should be able to remake another round. And if any more units over here have died to, like, maybe a Zealot has died to a PF, maybe next time you make stalkers, you can make 22 of them instead of 16. Because some of his army killed your army. Some of his base killed your army.
Our base is besieged.
23 supply is only enough for 11 stalkers. Do you want to ban? Okay, don't fucking question my math. Yeah, this is a massive mistake. You should just base trade. And the whole time you were doing that, you were not making any probes. You're making probes now though. I like that. But you didn't make any probes during that the whole time. And now you're going into this like ultra defensive, I'm freaking out mode. And you're just getting picked apart now.
Your forces have engaged the enemy.
And the reason why you're getting picked apart now is because you did not give yourself enough of a foundation to work with. Like, you didn't give yourself enough gateways early on. How many do you have now? You have 13. 13's still at the low end. Now, the thing is, though, you can't really afford it like you could have before because you actually had like 65 probes before, which is still bad. You should be still like 20 more probes than that. But, I mean, your gateway count is increasing. It is increasing. You now have... you have 16, rather. 16 is looking more respectable. 20 to 24, I would say, is ideal. 20 to 24 for like a low-level player in the silver range. Because that is enough for you to really like get through your bank. I like the Zealot run by. I was about to say, You could literally just send units at his base and fuck him over. But if you don't attack him and you run home right now, I'm going to be disappointed.
We have used up a mineral.
Do you have any armor upgrades? You do. You have one.
Mineral field depleted. Your progress are under attack.
Okay. So he's attacking you. You're attacking him. You could literally warp in Stalkers and Zealots here and you could kill that. You've just given him so much time, and then he's been allowed to fuck you over too. Like, his economy's terrible, your economy's pretty shitty as well. But if either one of... Dude, if you just made workers and probes the whole time, and you tried to maintain 80 ever, you would be able to remax, and remax, and remax, and remax, and remax. Because what is... Realistically, what has happened in this game? He killed your probes here, and he killed his base. This whole game, that's all he's done. He hasn't killed your whole base. He killed one base and a probe line. That's it. Minimal damage. For a 25-minute game, I would say that is minimal damage. You've definitely done a lot more damage to him than he's done to you because you've killed base. You've killed a base. You've killed a base. You've not done much there. But you've killed 3 bases out of his. Out of his 5 bases, you've killed 3. Out of your 4 bases, he's killed 1.
We have used up a mineral field.
But you're just not recovering. Is your problem? You're not actually
Depleted.
like, you should definitely be like expanding again right now and making probes.
Used up a mineral field.
Like, and the thing is it's you have put yourself in a position now that is hard because you've waited so long, so many times to make workers when to not make workers when you should have been making workers when he didn't have double-digit battlecruiser count just sitting there. But now that you have a low worker count and because you didn't really prioritize it early on in the game, now suddenly there is a big battlecruiser count that is intimidating, and you're like, well, I don't really know if I can make workers anymore, which is true. It's fucking scary now. It wasn't scary earlier, but now it is. So you just have successfully put yourself in a very, very difficult position. This is replay analysis, yeah. I'm almost done. Yeah, BCs are pretty good. I'm not going to deny that fact. They're pretty good, but they're not unkillable. The fact that this guy has no economy, if you send him like 30 stalkers against his like 10 BCs or so, and you kill like 1 or 2 BCs with that, and then all your stalkers die, and you're like, well, fuck, I'm dead now. Then my question to you would be, why? Because the whole point of B to GM is not you make one round of 30 stalkers and then that's it. It's all about, like, it's literally never-ending floods of the same fucking thing over and over and over until the map is literally mined out and you have plenty of money to work with. It's just you don't have access to it because you didn't make workers for it.
Those cowards have attacked our probes.
Time trial. Time trial. It's all about the time trial. That's how you should think about StarCraft. Anybody who is... I'm going to literally... Next time I make a Bronze GM series, I am going to really stress that concept. Because it is so fucking true. I like your Nexus.
Base is under attack.
And now neither one of you is really mining. He's mining a little bit. You're mining nothing. So these stalkers are your final all-in. And you're like, I hope the God shield batteries are going to be good enough. Yo, Ruff, thank you very much for the raid, dude. Welcome, everybody. We're doing a replay analysis really fast. This one's about over. But much love, man. Hope you had a good stream. Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. This is a Silver League Protoss versus Terran game that we're looking at right now from my stream. Yeah. So next time you build a Nexus, make sure you build it at the mineral line. You're like, I want to hide a fucking Nexus because we're base trading, and you're like, oh shit, now I kind of wish I built it at the mineral line. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna die because you just don't have any income. The whole game has been your problem of that right there. Give us the token teleport. Teleport your BCs. There they are. But yeah, time trial. If you play StarCraft, I can tell you right now where your whole problem went wrong. I'll recap it really fast. The way you play StarCraft is you play a way too reserved way, where you're trying to play a reactionary game before you even understand the game. That's not correct. To understand the game properly, you need to be able to at least be able to execute a proper game, and you cannot execute a proper game until you can do a certain quota, which is like a time trial. Like, for instance, if you were playing Mario Kart, and let's just say you raced the track and you took 9.5 minutes to do it, when the quota to be able to even understand what the fuck you're doing is like 6 minutes. And it took you 9.5. Well, that means that don't try to analyze how other people race and don't try to do this and that. Focus on nothing else but just going, okay, well, I got to get under that 6 minutes because that's the quota. This is the exact same thing with your build in StarCraft 2, where your quota should be a max timer. And if you cannot max within like 12 minutes or 11 minutes, you should not focus on anything besides that. Literally ignore everything else and just be able to try to be able to do that. And you're going to just win so many games. You're going to win so many fucking games because the game is just going to feel way more basic than it has to. Because what you're doing every game is you're scouting him with your first probe. And that first probe is like your biggest enemy, actually, because you're getting into his base and you're like, all right, the fuck does this mean? There's a gas, there's a factory, there's a command center that hasn't even turned into an orbital yet. There's a barracks. He doesn't even have the ramp block. There's a random depot in the middle of nowhere. But there is no natural. So I'm getting all in. That's what it probably means. And you're just thinking about it way too hard. Just fucking do your build. Just do it. Like, do like a efficient time trial type opener. Like, try to do it as fast as you can. Focus on macro, 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 macro. Every time you get attacked, you could literally look. You could use the minimap and play fucking chess, and be like, okay, he's on the middle left. Let's attack middle. Attack middle left with select all army. Fuck it. Don't even look at what he has. Who gives a shit? It's not even your priority. It could be medevac. Like I said, it could be. Remember that example I gave earlier? What's like? What if it was liberators? What if it was medevacs and tanks? What if it was bio and tanks? What if it was bio and medevacs? What if it was battlecruisers? What if it was banshees? It literally doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Because if you have 100 supply and he has 38, you could send stalkers and observers over there, and regardless of what the fuck it is, you're gonna shit on it. If it's like 3 siege tanks and like 4 marines and 2 medevacs that he just unloaded and sieged up there, which ideally bio tank can kick the shit out of stalker, but not when it's like 3 times the supply. When you have 30 stalkers and he's got 3 tanks and some bio, and you're like, well, it's not scary. But it is scary though if you slow your own build down to a point where he's got 150 supply and you have 144, because you both are taking 16 minutes to max out. What would be a good army for composition for this level? I've done that. I've said that so many times in
Thanks
BDGM.
for the tough love vibe, Usama.
Yo, no problem. Thank you for the bits, Monk Capitan and Real Chutomi. It's literally just like Stalker, Observer, Immortal, Archon, and maybe some Zealots. You could just make Stalker, only Stalker, and you'd be fine. I wouldn't give a fuck. You could literally do 100% stalkers and observers. Like 2 or 3 observers and 100% stalkers. And you would be fucking fine. Get something that can hit air. Get something that can hit ground. And get something that doesn't need to be microed. Immortals are great for that. Archons are great for that. Stalkers are great for that. You could literally just go Archon, Immortal, Stalker. And then if you ever have a lot of minerals and you're like, okay, I have like only like 200 gas and 3,000 minerals. Just make fucking Zealots. Zealots are easy as shit too. They're very, very noob friendly. They just kind of kill everything by themselves. They're like elite ninja warriors that don't need to be told what to do. They just, you go, hey Zealots, walk over there. And then when you go over there later, you're like, where'd the enemy go? Zealots is like, I don't know, they all died. We just showed up and everything's dead. Like, your units are fucking good. You just have to have enough of them. But, yo, thank you. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay analysis. Until next time, take it easy. Good luck in your own games. And I will see you later. Goodbye.